The skin suitcase? Is this gonna be crazy?
Gets it.
What?
Purple gets it.
Oh my god, that's so real.
You're gonna get
Christmas vacation. I'm so glad it's just vacation. Oh. Yeah, we gotta check that shit out, dude.
It is January 6th, 1999. You are Miroslav. And you and your team have been commissioned to transfer cargo on the
Can I make a hat out of your
Poland's longest
asshole?
river at over 600 miles or over 1,000 kilometers
Bro.
long. Well, at
I'm
least
about to
you
make a
attempt to
fucking
transfer cargo.
pellet
But
out of
soon,
your skin, my boy.
Your tugboat, the Elk,
Why is it
stops.
wet?
You discuss with your colleagues what could be
I
causing
know
the
it's
sudden
pink.
halt before mutually deciding that some sort of garbage got caught up in the Elk's propeller.
What?
Expecting to find debris like a loose tire or mayhaps a tree branch, you look down, and instead, you are met with something gray and
My wiener.
rubberish,
My wiener.
and it is wrapped around your propeller.
My wiener.
You find it's hard to describe what it looks like. Its color is a pale gray, and it seems like a sack or a bag. You and your crew begin to pull out this rubber material as it slowly begins to unravel from the blades. And that is when you are hit with two sudden factors. The first being the smell that wafts up into your nose as your eyes tear
Dude, it smells like
and
poo.
you gag. Whatever this is,
On a
it
float
smells of
after
rot.
he pounds it?
The
What?
second factor being the human ear attached to the sack.
I'm gonna attach to the sack.
You have just discovered the remains of 23-year-old Katarzyna Zawada. This pale rubber material would be her skin, detached from her body. At first, due to the dreadful state of the DNA, it was difficult for the forensic team to even identify what exactly happened to Katarzyna. The propeller was temporarily blamed for possibly damaging a body and removing its skin, but that was soon dismissed because it was revealed that the skin of Katarzyna had long been removed from her body before ever being tossed into the river. The coroner would inspect this suit of DNA, where they would find that the skin was cut neatly, starting at the thighs and reaching above her neck, where it stopped after her left ear. Her face, her arms, and her nipples were not included in the skinning. An oblique seam would travel from under her right chest to her left shoulder,
Her Gucci
creating
was
a
included?
grotesque, wearable suit, implying that whoever did this went on to wear her skin around their body. Lastly, the coroner would discover one last harrowing detail. Katarzyna was still alive during the time that her skin was being removed. It wouldn't be long until other fragments of her DNA would begin to appear in the Vistula. Pieces of her sweater would be found near the scene
Jake,
where
I
her
love you
skin
too
was
so
first
fucking much,
discovered.
homie.
A leg would appear near a hydroelectric dam, and while seeming intact, bits of the leg were missing. Scraps of her
that is a
clothes
good
would be
question.
found as well. Pieces of her jeans and a square cloth which was cut from a flannel shirt. No other remains of her body would be found afterwards. This investigation would be titled as Codename Skoda, roughly translated to the skin case. Now, let's rewind the clocks a bit.
Damn, I guess bruising and shit.
It's November 12th, 1998. You are Katarzyna's mother. Your daughter has been showing signs of growing depressive symptoms, which have escalated due to your late husband's passing just 2 years ago. Katarzyna isn't taking the grief of losing her father well.
I'm a bottom. I love getting pegged.
Trying to help your daughter juggle with her mental health, the loss of her father, and the burden of the responsibilities of college, you decide to begin assisting her by spending time
I
with
never
her
said
at
that.
a psychiatric center in Nova Huta.
That's AI
They have been
generated.
treating Katarzyna's depression for a little while now, so today was going to be like any other day to you. Except, Katarzyna never arrives. You fight off your anxious thoughts.
Phoenix
Maybe
just got
she's
cooked.
just stuck in class or hanging out with friends and she just lost
Sounds
time.
very clean for
Her
AI.
friends, the
My
few that she
asshole's pretty
has,
clean for
had
me.
said that she's been too withdrawn lately, so maybe time with friends could help. Or she's
You
taking a
messed
test
that one up, by the way,
or
bro.
studying.
Don't even be like, you messed
Lord
that one
knows
up.
she's already changed her field of study twice now.
Do it again.
Poor girl must be overwhelmed with classwork. Little do you know, but Katarzyna had been skipping class for weeks by this point. Hours begin to pass, and still, no sign of Katarzyna. Enough is enough, you think to yourself, and you rush down to the police department to file a missing persons report. The police delay your request, telling you to wait another 24 hours before finally submitting a missing persons report. 2 months later, the police arrive at your door. Parts of your daughter have been found. The hunt for the monster begins. A psych profile would be established.
Sorry, I was
stating that
waiting
the
for my
killer
soul
was
to get
a
back
sadist,
into my body after that.
enjoying the
After it
harassment
jumped
of
out.
women, and
After
may
my
likely be a
soul
prior
left my
convict.
mortal being,
The
bro.
damage done
I'm
to the
sorry, I
body
had
prior to the
I had to
skin
fucking
was
try and kick it back into
precise
fucking gear.
and calculated.
I had to pull
leading
it back in.
investigators to believe the murderer was trained in a form of martial combat. As a result of the studies, it was determined that the unfortunate 23-year-old student was beaten first. Then her neck, armpits, and groin were cut with a knife, and her
He's pulling his cock out!
Then, her skin was flayed, and she would go on to die from blood loss.
He's pulling his cock out
Disturbingly
during this.
and
Are you kidding
ironically
me?
enough, in May 1999, or just a few months after Katarzyna's DNA was discovered, another corpse would be found. The forensic medicine unit in Krakow would begin to study an elderly man's body, one of which was missing a head. Later, the man's head would be found missing the skin on its face. An arrest would be made against Vladimir W., as he was spotted moments prior wearing the man's face as a mask. The victim would soon be discovered to be Vladimir's own father, and it is believed that he wore the mask in front of his grandfather, toying with the man, pretending he was his son. Vladimir would be taken in and interrogated,
took the
heavily
foreskin.
suspected to be Katarzyna's murderer. The story simply wrote itself. 2 vile acts of dismembering, flaying, and wearing the skin of a victim within just a few months apart. Not to mention that Katarzyna and Vladimir both attended the very same college. Close the case and seal the books. We're done here. Except, there was zero evidence to prove that he had any relation towards
This
the
video is
death of
scaring
Katarzyna.
me.
Still, though, he murdered his father and
Oh my
wore
god,
his
Poppy,
face.
why would you
so
pop up
to
just like
prison
that,
he
dude?
went.
Do you want me to die?
This means that the case of Katarzyna
Fuck.
remained unsolved.
You want me to fucking
In
die,
2000.
Poppy?
A Polish article would state that biological traces not belonging to the victim would be found on Katarzyna's skin, but the DNA
Poppy said,
resulted
fuck.
in no matches to any suspects or previous criminals. After this bombshell, the investigation would
Oh my
officially
god.
be dropped.
I just got fucked up. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Are you okay?
Dude, this fucker just stabbed my fucking man titty. The fuck? Ow, it hurts so bad.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. Poppy's a dick. Poppy! After I fed your fat ass treats! Oh my god. Oh, it stings so bad. Oh my fucking god. I'm gonna go check the bathroom mirror. Can you entertain these dumbasses for me?
Okay. Hi. I don't know No, they aren't. Are you good?
It hurts so bad. Oh my god. Oh. Hi, Jet. A dog would never. I agree. Chat, it's all fun and games till I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, Chat, I can't stream. I got the cat scratch fever. Now I'm bedridden.
You want that?
Poppy said, oh, the skin case? Yeah, that was me, bitch. Watch out. Haha. Good one, Josh. Don't you have a battle to fight with a bunch of other fuckers named Josh or something? Huh? I'm sorry, Josh. I'm in a bad mood because my chest hurts. I'm letting it out.
Let me suck the fart out of your ass and hold it like a bong.
Why did you do that to me? Hello, boy, girl. Hello, girl, boy. Bro woke up on the wrong side of the cat post. Meow.
What if Cam ends up sending you the 3K today?
I'll let I'll wax my fucking butthole. Oh yeah, back to our scary video.
No additional evidence nor suspected perpetrators were named. There would be lots of blame pointed at the film Silence of the Lambs.
Yo, what's up, sharks?
Due to the eerie similarity between the murderers and the antagonists in the movie, stating that the fictional movie created these monsters in real life, and despite the desperate media attention, these claims provided no assistance towards finding any additional information. While the investigators had dropped the case, the local police department still trekked on with this file, going as far as attempting to hire a clairvoyant to aid their search. There does not seem to be any information on what the clairvoyant had attempted, but it's safe to say that nothing came from their assistance. With only previous criminal statistics being their source of help, the previous psych profile would be updated. This monster would now be described as so: narcissistic personality disorder, sexually disturbed, potential motive for murder, age 22 to 35, a social recluse. From studying their cuts and bodily adjustments, their profession could be a butcher, gravedigger, surgeon, veterinarian, tailor, or upholster, with the possibility of being a hunter or angler as a hobby. Creating a suit from female skin may satisfy the need for a gender change, identity and gender dysmorphia, necrophilia, and/or necrosadism. Before the crime, the victim and the killer knew each other, which the killer would use the victim's trust to carry out the attack. To build a relationship, they would potentially use knowledge about the interests and passion of the victim. Many attempts of evaluating this case were made, all with outlandish claims. The movie Silence of the Lambs would be evaluated, theorizing that perhaps the killer wanted to live out the fantasy of being Buffalo Bill.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Establishing how both the murderer and the movie character both skinned their victims before tossing their remains into the water. Another evaluation claims the possibility that, perhaps, this was a mutual sacrifice, using Katarzyna's depression and suicide attempt as the root of this theory. There's also the harrowing theory that the murderer did not attack Katarzyna as a personal vendetta, but simply because she was a woman. But not for her gender, but rather to become her gender. This theory bases itself off of the, at the time, psychological research, emphasizing on the fact that her torso and groin remained mostly intact, but her head was removed. Identity is placed in the face, being the location that expresses the emotions and characteristics of a person. So, perhaps the murderer wanted only to keep the physicality of the gender. The skin did contain the victim's neck, possibly made to hide the murderer's Adam's apple, and the rest provided them with the torso and the groin of a woman. Again, this is all based off of the early 2000s police and psych department records, and was only used as a possible evaluation. The professional with which this man brought his skin from the girl points to a doctor, a medical student, or an employee of a slaughterhouse. The fact that, after the woman's disappearance, no one noticed a suspicious type hanging on the
He's pulling his cock out!
and yet the remains were caught from it, indicates that we are dealing with a person associated with the river. Most likely, a regular of coastal areas, whose presence does not surprise anyone, or a complete recluse that is only running on well-known trails. From the police and information collected by us, it appears that Katarzyna was his accidental victim. Oh, she went out for a walk just at the time when the killer decided to hunt. With these evaluations publicly listed, articles began to create their own minority report, which shared some alternative concepts compared to the original police psych file. The minority report states, a man of 35 to 50 years old, average body structure, approximately 175 centimeters tall. This is based off of Katarzyna's approximate height, seeing that the outfit would have to fit him. A divorcee, no longer living with his family. Suffering from gender dysmorphia, who has then been rejected or resigned from a gender reassignment program. Probably, originally, looking for a simpler way to
Let me suck the fart out of your ass and hold it like a bong.
functioning with schizophrenic personality traits. Noticeable quirks visible in behavior and way of thinking. A loner. Secrecy, mistrust, and a lack of close friends. Preserved basic social skills, as in he had to
Dude, this
conduct
video is freaking me out
conversations
so
with
much. I
Katarzyna
can't watch scary videos
and
when I'm
appeal
high.
to emotions in them. The sense of harm and misunderstanding by the world. Lack of care also manifested in other areas of their life. Precise to imitate, a fascination with the film Silence of the Lambs. Again, this movie seemed to play a large role in the media at the time. Early access to the internet. Openness to new technologies to search for information about your condition. Probably not very high socioeconomic status. Homeowner, or at least owns a space with a secluded, heated, and illuminated room to carry out the skin photo process, but also possibly to look in a mirror and wear the suit with potential other clothing. Despite the abundance of theories, reports, and ideas, Katarzyna's case would remain closed for over a decade. There would be a reopening in 2012 where a forensic team would locate the DNA of a very specific plant, one which would
Ok, potassium
potentially
chill daddy.
identify a different biome where Katarzyna was presumably taken from or held in. It is now October 4th, 2017. It has been 19 years since the murder. You are 52-year-old Robert Yanchevsky, and this case holds close to you because you were a listed suspect back when it all happened. But you managed to free yourself from that mess. You moved on, got yourself a job as a zoologist at the Krakow Institute for Zoology, where you learned animal anatomy and the process of skinning animals. You would, however, eventually be fired due to the majority of the animals on your shift mysteriously dying. You are the only one who knows what happened to the rabbits and mice, but you decided to simply accept the firing and look for another job. A professor who worked alongside you would actually attempt to defend you, but you've already moved on, which was difficult because you also have a record of harassing women, and the animal situation probably isn't being handled well, but that's all over now. You have a different job, working at a hospital for military and religious services. So, why is it that the police are kicking down your apartment door and rushing in? Turns out, a close friend of yours had submitted a letter to the police identifying you as the murderer of Katarzyna Zawada. During their search, the police would discover blood inside of your bath frame, and they decided that was all they needed to bring you in. You would play your card of stating that you never met Katarzyna and that you have no clue who she is. But it's too late. Whatever was in that letter had already sealed your fate, and the police just needed any form of evidence to bring you in. From here on out, everything involving Robert Yanchevsky would be kept a secret. His interrogation, his arrest, his trials, everything would be hidden from the public. Robert was charged with aggravated murder with particular cruelty, and as of September 14th, 2022, Robert would be sentenced to life in prison for the 1998 murder of student Katarzyna Zawada.
Elizabeth!
You go. Okay, next one.
Chat, no more scary videos when I'm high, bro, okay? This shit was way too scary, bro.
I thought you picked this.
Yeah, I did. It's a sick-ass video.